Hi. So it's a new year. We've created new intentions for the year, and we really want the change to happen. It can be change in our relationship, it can be change in our exercise pattern, it can be something with our work or in our parenting. And I was like, oh yes, this is going to be great. And we write up our plan for ourselves. And the first week it goes pretty well, and after that things start to kind of slide back into how they used to be. Can you recognize this in yourself? Because I totally recognize this in myself and in so many people that I've worked with. So I thought it could be helpful to describe something that's been really helpful for me. So the way that our brain works is anything that's new, whether it's positive or negative, is scary. That means that we get totally kidnapped by our old part of our brain, by our amygdala, and says, this is dangerous, this is dangerous. So it's not strange that we react with fear or with resistance to trying to do something new, even if we know that we're going to feel better for it. And something that I thought was interesting is in a theory that I read about behavior and about change, that change is not a linear process. It takes time, and it's kind of like something we go back and forth with. So what can we do about this? Well, one thing we can do is recognize with compassion and empathy that change is hard for us. Not because there's something wrong with me personally, but because as a human being, we've created a way to save energy. That means that starting a new behavior uses a lot of our prefrontal cortex, and our basal ganglia and the other parts of our brain will wants to save energy. So as soon as we've done something a couple of times, it kind of goes into autopilot. I was like, oh good, I don't have to think about it. That's kind of like how you can ride a bicycle after 10 years and even though you already knew how to ride a bike, you haven't done it in a long time, you can do it again. Or how you can stick shift on a car. Just certain things that we do automatically. So meeting ourselves with compassion around this and understanding, all right, my brain is trying to conserve energy. I have to kind of go through this. First, just naming it. And name it to tame it. Just naming it makes it easier for us to not be kidnapped of our old part of our brain that is our fight or flight. Another thing that could be interesting is to just start to notice for yourself, how often do you ask somebody else to change? And how you get frustrated when they don't just automatically change. If you're like me, this does happen. And when I notice that, it gives me the opportunity to be like, all right, wait a second. I can have more empathy for them. That this takes time, just as it takes for me. So it's a great learning experience that what I'm asking somebody else to do is actually something for me to work on myself. So I'm both creating compassion and empathy for them, but also for myself. So what can we do? Well, what we know is from this theory that I was talking about in change, that first we just have to create awareness around it. What is it that I want to change? What are all of the feelings that come up around it? What are the positives for it? What are the negatives for it? What are the negatives for it even if it ends up being positive for me? Kind of starting to make a map for yourself of both the pros and cons of how this is going to affect your life. And then moving into a daily awareness of any time you go into resistance, use it as a mindfulness exercise. I'm in resistance to my change. When your head starts going, nah, I don't want to do that, or nah, that wasn't a good idea. So just kind of raising your own awareness around what is going on for you helps you to be able to both calm the old part of your fight and flight part of the brain and bring it up into your prefrontal cortex into conscious choice. What we want to do is give ourselves conscious choice and reminders over and over again. Because as I said, change does not happen in a linear process. We kind of got to hop back and forth. But with time, if we're consistent in bringing up what it is that I want to do, finding ways to help myself create the space and the time and compassion for myself, change can happen. Both the things that make us joyful, but also the things we want to let go of. I hope this has been helpful for you, and I'm really looking forward to hearing how have you used this awareness of both your fight and flight and compassion to make change in your life. Thank you. Have a great day.